Dragon Masters. Song of the Poison Dragon. By Tracy West. 1. The New Dragon Master. Drake looked out at the crowd of people waiting by the castle gates. It seemed like everyone in the kingdom of Bracken was there. It was a special day. The new Dragon Master was coming. Drake stood with the other Dragon Masters Anna, Rory, and Boy in front of the castle. Drake turned to the wizard standing near them. Griffith, did the Dragon Stone tell you what the new Dragon Master will be like? He asked. Griffith shook his head. All I know is that her name is Petra. She comes from the southern lands. And she is 8 years old, like all of you. Each of the Dragon Masters had been chosen by the magical Dragon Stone. The stone chose children who could connect with dragons. So far, it had chosen 4 children from all over the world to live in King Roland's castle. There, Griffith taught them how to work with their dragons. Now there was a new dragon at the castle. She was a hydra, a dragon with 4 heads. An evil wizard named Maldred had attacked the kingdom, riding the hydra. Maldred was sent to the wizard's council prison. And the Dragon Stone had chosen a dragon master for the hydra. Petra will be here any minute, said red-haired Rory. I wonder what she will be like. What if she's mean? Why would she be mean? Asked Bo. Well, the hydra shoots poison, said Rory. And poison isn't nice. In the battle with Maldred, the hydra had shot poison from her 4 mouths. Her liquid poison could melt rocks. And her poison mist had stung the wing of Rory's dragon, Vulcan. Just because the hydra shoots poison doesn't make her a mean dragon, Drake said. That's her power, like how each of our dragons has a different power. Right, agreed Anna. The hydra's heart is good, and I think Petra will be good, too. Look! Bo cried. Drake saw horses coming down the road. The crowd started to get excited. Some people waved flags with dragons painted on them. Little kids played with wooden dragon toys along the side of the road. Drake remembered the first day he had come to the castle. One of the king's soldiers had scooped him up on a horse. That had been scary. I wonder if the new Dragon Master feels scared? Drake thought. The crowd cheered as the horses stopped at the gates. A soldier helped a young girl down from one of them. That must be Petra, Bo whispered to Drake. Petra wore a long blue dress with brown leather shoes. She had blonde curly hair. Her bright green eyes stared out at the crowd and up at the castle. The crowd got quiet. Everyone was waiting to hear what the new Dragon Master would say. Petra shivered. Is it always this cold here? She asked. 2. Petra knows it all. Drake, Rory, Bo, and Anna walked up to Petra. It's fall here, Drake explained. That's when it starts getting colder. We don't have fall where I'm from. Petra said, like there was something bad about fall. Just wait. It gets even colder in the winter, Rory snapped. Anna took Petra's hand. I am from the land of pyramids. It's warm there all the time, too. You will get used to the cold like I did. Griffith clapped. Come. Let's bring Petra inside. One of the soldiers turned to the crowd. Back to the fields, he yelled. The Dragon Masters and Griffith walked into the castle. Petra talked the whole way. This is the castle? It's so gray and gloomy. Where are the white columns? Where is the gold? She asked. Petra didn't wait for anyone to answer her questions. She just kept asking them. That's a tall tower. How tall is it? Can you see the whole kingdom from up there? They walked down a hall to a wood door. A guard named Simon opened it for them. Petra, we will answer your questions soon, Griffith said. First, though, we will show you the training room and the dragon caves. Then we'll take you to your room. Griffith led them down the long staircase into the training room. Torches flickered on the walls. It's dark down here, Petra said. This is the training room, where we work with our dragons, Drake explained. Bo pointed to a locked room. That's Griffith's workshop. And that's our classroom, said Anna, pointing to the room next to it. It's filled with books about dragons. We can read boring books anytime, said Rory. You must be dying to meet your dragon. Let's go! The books sound interesting, said Petra. But Rory pulled her toward the dragon caves. Rory stopped in front of Vulcan's cave. This is Vulcan, Rory said, smiling. The red dragon showed off by spreading his wings. A fire dragon, said Petra. He can shoot a flame as tall as a tree. How do you know that? Rory asked. Everybody knows that, Petra replied. Then Anna led her to another dragon cave. This is my son dragon, Kepri, said Anna, pointing to the white dragon inside. Does Kepri's moon dragon twin live here, too? Petra asked. You know about moon dragons? Anna asked, her dark eyes wide. Doesn't everyone? Petra said. Bo waved to Petra. Come meet Shu, my water dragon, he said, leading her to a blue dragon with shimmering scales. She can cure dark magi spells, said Petra. Before Bo could finish, Drake and Bo looked at each other, frowning. What a know-it-all. Drake thought. Drake walked over to Worm's cave. His brown, legless dragon looked up when Drake got near. This is Worm, said Drake. He's an earth-worn dragon. But you probably already know his power. He can move things with his mind, said Petra. Rory put her hands on her hips. How do you know all this? She asked. A long time ago, a member of my family was a dragon expert, answered Petra. His name was Cosmo. I have heard many stories about Cosmo and dragons. Cosmo even tamed a four-headed dragon. He kept it as a pet. And now, Petra, it is time for you to meet your dragon, said Griffith. 4 heads. Yes, of course. I should meet my dragon, said Petra. Griffith took something out of his pocket, a chain with a green stone hanging from it. First, here is a piece of the dragon stone, said Griffith. Every dragon master has one. This will help you connect with your dragon. Petra slipped the stone around her neck. Ooh, it matches your eyes, said Anna. Don't worry if you don't connect with the Hydra at first, said Drake. He remembered that he and Worm did not connect right away. It may take time, but it will happen. Did you say Hydra? My dragon is a Hydra? Petra asked, and her eyes were wide. Yes, a four-headed dragon, said Rory. But that Cosmo guy tamed one, so it should be no problem for you, right? Drake thought he saw a look of worry flash across Petra's face. But then it was gone. What are we waiting for? Let's go see my Hydra, she said. Griffith led the dragon masters to a 5th cave covered with wood bars. Here she is, Griffith said, opening the gate. The Hydra raised all 4 necks. She had shiny green scales, big wings, and bright yellow eyes. Petra took a step back. Yup, 4 heads, they're all there, she said. That's good. Can I see my room now? Don't you want to talk to your dragon? Asked Bo. You need to name her, said Rory. Petra shook her head. Everybody knows you can't name a hydra right away, she said. You have to wait. Wait for what? Drake asked. Petra didn't answer. Can somebody please show me my room? She asked again. We will eat first, Griffith said. You must be hungry. Fine, Petra said, and then she marched off without another look at the hydra. The other dragon masters looked at Griffith. We must give her time, said Griffith. Now, let's go eat. 4. A message from the king. Drake caught up to Petra. You'll like dinner, he said as they walked. The food is really good. I am hungry, Petra said, entering the dining room. The table was full of plates piled high with roast beef, chicken, potatoes, carrots, and bread. Petra stood still while the others quickly took their seats. She stared at the table. Where are the chickpeas? And the olives? And the figs? She asked. I don't know what a fig is. But we have roast beef, Drake said. Petra sighed. My family doesn't eat meat, she said. Griffith waved to her. Come and sit with us, please. Just as Petra sat down, Griffith got a twinkle in his eye. He pointed a finger at the potatoes. One of them floated up and landed on Petra's plate. Petra's eyes widened at the sight of the magic. The potatoes are delicious, Griffith said. Drake watched Petra poke at her potato with her fork. Petra, I was thinking, Bo said. Maybe the dragon stone chose you for the hydra because of Cosmo. Maybe taming hydras is a talent that runs in your family, Anna added. Maybe, Petra said, not looking up. Then they heard a sound on the stairs. Simon the guard marched in. Have a message for you, wizard, he said. King Roland wants to see all of the dragon masters and their beasts tomorrow. In the courtyard. Why not in the training room? Griffith asked. Queen Rose is coming to visit. The king wants to show off his new dragon outside, the guard replied, and then he left. Tomorrow? Petra asked with a squeak in her voice. But I have not even worked with the hydra yet. Everyone knows it takes time to get to know a dragon. I agree it is too soon. But we must obey the king, Griffith said. And his friend Queen Rose is very nice. You will like meeting her. Petra frowned. She ate a few bites of her potato and then pushed her plate away. I'm done, she said. May I please go to my room now? Griffith nodded. Of course. We will see you at breakfast. I'll show you to your room, Anna offered. The two girls left, and the other dragon masters looked at one another. I don't think Petra is fitting in very well, Rory blurted out. Nonsense, said Griffith. She fits in fine. Give her time. Bo leaned over to Drake. What do you think? He whispered. Drake hated to say it. It hadn't been easy for him when he first came to the castle. But he had been excited to be there and to meet the dragons. Petra didn't seem excited at all. I'm not sure she belongs, Drake whispered. 5. A nervous hydra. The next day, the dragon masters brought their dragons to the courtyard as the king had asked. Are you sure we have to do this? Petra asked, walking with the hydra behind her. This won't take long, Griffith promised her. The king just wants to show off your dragon to Queen Rose. Drake was happy to be outside with Worm. His earth dragon slid across the grass beside him. Shu was next to Bo. Kepri walked with Anna, and Vulcan stomped along behind Rory. Did you name your hydra yet? Rory asked Petra. Not yet, Petra replied. You can't rush these things. King Roland stood in the courtyard, waiting for them. He was tall, with a bushy red beard. Queen Rose, from the kingdom of Arkwood, stood next to him. She had a kind face and she wore her hair in 2 long braids. Behind them, the king's guards were trying to hold back a crowd of villagers. I thought we were just going to meet the king and Queen Rose, said Petra. Why are so many people here? Word must have got out that the dragons would be outside, Drake guessed. The villagers have been excited about the dragons ever since they found out about them. King Roland came toward them. Good morning, Griffith, he said in his booming voice. Thank you for bringing the dragons. The king walked up to the hydra and then turned to Queen Rose. See? This new dragon has 4 heads, he said. Just like I told you. This is an amazing dragon, the queen said. What can she do? Griffith started to talk about the hydra. 2 little kids ran past the guards. They each had a dragon toy, a dragon head with a long ribbon tail attached to a stick. They chased each other around the courtyard, waving the sticks. The hydra's 4 mouths frowned as the kids got closer. Her 2 front feet started to paw the ground. Drake noticed it. But Petra had her back to the hydra. Then Drake's dragon stone started to glow. That sometimes meant Worm was trying to tell him something. Now he could hear Worm inside his head. Petra must calm the hydra. She must pat her heads right away. Drake nodded at Worm. Drake ran up to Petra. Petra, your dragon is nervous, he whispered to her. You must pat her heads. Pat her heads? Petra asked. She looked pale. The hydra started to snort and pant. Is something wrong with this dragon? King Roland asked. Petra, do it now, Drake urged. You don't pat a hydra's heads, she said. You're supposed to unpat their tails. Everyone knows that. She moved to the back of the hydra, reached out, and patted her tail. Aye, the hydra cried out. One of the heads reared back, the head closest to King Roland. A light mist sprayed from the head's mouth. King Roland